Pas de français?
Sorry?
Je vous demande si vous parlez pas de français. Où est Pascal?
Il arrive.
Oh putain, fais-le se dépêcher.
Intrusion aggravée, dommages matériels.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais, toi?
Oh, c'est bon, on peut même plus finir de manger.
Et toujours ailleurs. Allez, t'es prêt?
Commençons.
Anthony Blake et Gloria Goforth. Musiciens de l'Angleterre?
Your musicians from England.
I'm American.
D'accord. Je pense avoir entendu parler de vous.
He says,
Alors, expliquez-moi, qu'est-ce que vous faisiez tous les deux ici en Ariège?
what were you doing in the Ariège?
Que cherchez-vous?
What were you looking for?
What did you expect, a crystal ball?
I don't know what to expect.
I have to be totally honest with you. I'm a massive fan of your music.
Well, that explains the one CD I sold. I wish I was joking.
No, I hear ya. Oh, man.
So, I've heard that you're the right person to talk to.
So, let's talk.
Well, since I was very young, I was seeing things. And I often knew when things were going to happen. But recently, I've been having very, very vivid dreams and visions about people burning alive. But they're calling out to me and they're going, remember who you are, remember what this is all about. See, I can't talk about it now. And trying to talk to normal people about it doesn't work. I went to these 2 psychiatrists. They thought I was crazy.
And your family?
They think that I've gone nuts as well. And especially my daughter, well, she doesn't so much she thinks I've gone nuts, she's just very upset about what's going on. But look, I'm not trying to upset anyone, I just have to try and get to the bottom of it. I mean, I can't carry on like this, so...
I have to be honest with you. This process isn't for everybody. It can bring up a lot of stuff.
No, I've come all the way here. I think I want to go the whole hog. I mean, if it's a question of money, you know, I can sort that out.
The past no more exists than the future. Only our memories survive. You can see with your far memory across space and across time. Your visions show flashes of a crusade from a previous life when you were a Cathar heretic. You were all hunted by the Inquisition. Many Cathars were burnt to death, including your friends. You were given a manuscript to keep safe. You managed to escape. You buried it. You buried it in the earth before they found you. Before you were decapitated.
These are immense treasures of eternal knowledge. They're showing me that they're hidden in a cave in the earth.
me that you must reclaim them. That is what this is about. You must reclaim these treasures. They will provide answers.
I've never seen anything like that before.
So that's what I'm doing.
Attendez.
I was a Cathar in the previous
Attendez!
life. Well, you asked.
Vous êtes
so-
venu chercher du trésor médiéval, c'est ça?
You're here to find medieval treasure.
Yeah.
Et combien de temps prépariez-vous votre coup?
How long have you been planning this?
A few months.
Depuis quelques mois.
Et par contre, il n'y a que vous deux pèlerins paumés dans le coin.
He asks if it's just you two that came here.
Yeah, to start with.
You alright, Dad?
This is the right area. I feel it. It's somewhere here. It's somewhere right where you're sat. It's just near there. Oh, let's get the probe.
The what?
The probe. This is the probe.
Do I want to know what this thing's for?
It's to get on top of a cave. I think there's a cave right under here.
A cave?
Yeah.
Under here?
And there's documents in there. And we're going to drill through to them.
Alright.
Oh God, that was so strong.
Right, where am I putting it? Just here?
Just quite near your foot, actually.
Not on my foot! Watch it,
hang on,
Dad!
just...
Une espèce de sonde. Ça me semble d'être un truc complètement inutile.
He says it looks very interesting.
I don't think this is doing anything.
No, we're getting
Dad.
down there. We don't stop. Just give it some positive.
This is going to rip through the ancient manuscript, you know. You thought about that?
I thought about everything. Oh, we seem to be stuck already. See, now, look,
Exactly.
just try there. I think it's just a slightly different.
Don't think that's really going to help, like an inch further away, but okay.
Well, might be a tiny little cave.
Watch my head!
Yeah, we'll just count. Might knock some sense into you.
I'm going to swim
No, I
for
doubt
you in a
that.
minute.
It'd need a bigger probe than that.
Hey, you guys okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel something?
Yeah, I felt something really, really strong just around here.
Well, I don't know if it's just there, because this whole area is giving me vibes.
Oh, the whole.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, well. Look, let's take this out, mate. Fucking hell.
You're like a lapdog around here.
Look, you'll get a chance to speak to her properly later on. I think you'll understand.
When are you going to come home?
When I find it.
And what if you don't find it?
Look, as long as Gloria's here, everything's going to be fine. God, she's got a temple here, not a tent.
Alors, qu'est-ce que s'est passé ensuite?
Oh, we tried somewhere else for more problems.
Qu'est-ce que tu fous? Ce terrain, c'est privé. Non, j'en ai marre de vous cherchant d'or. Allez vite.
I mean,
C'est pas permis. Allez, allez vite. La prochaine fois, j'appelle les chiens pour vous mordre les...
Things came to a head pretty quickly. We met up with these Cathar experts. There was a lot of booze. In my opinion, Gloria's the greatest psychic that's ever lived. And that's not all she does, she's a healer. So...
Healer?
Yeah, she can heal remotely because she's healing the spiritual side of people. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, she's the most sort of amazing, mind-blowing, sort of greatest woman that I've ever met.
What? How can you say that? I mean, you've only known her for a few months.
Your daughter was here to help?
No, she said she was worried.
About what?
about Gloria. You just don't understand what's going on.
Oh, right, I don't.
She's communicating with the other side.
Yeah, and charging you for the privilege.
Yeah, but it's tiring. She's inside and outside time.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to explain what I've learned. I'm trying to get you interested in what I've learned. You're a young person. You're supposed to be sort of, oh, that's interesting, that's interesting. Sort of, oh, no. I'm just like, I want to do my own thing. And I mean, I'm just following it. And why is it giving you such a problem?
Do you want to know what my problem is, Dad?
Well, no, yeah, you tell me. What is your
My
problem?
problem is that you are obsessed with this woman in some semi-religious way who spoon-feeds you bullshit and charges you for it, by the way. She has you wrapped around her little finger, and to everyone else, she's quite clearly a fake.
Well, okay, that's your opinion, and my opinion is different.
Go on.
I was just asking questions.
Well, look at me. I heard it all.
Well, why are we here? Why are we floating around bleeding out money? I mean, can't you just open up your third eye and ask for the exact coordinates?
Because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
I feel so much negative energy coming from you. Have you really tried to understand what's going on here?
I don't understand it because it's nonsense.
Marla,
I mean, you're sucking people into this psychic vortex, telling people that you're going to solve all their problems.
no, she doesn't
And
say
people
that. She doesn't
believe
say
it.
she's solving anyone's problems. You're putting that on her. She's just giving you the truth as she
That's
sees
what
it.
you
We all got
think.
different
Now, come
fucking
on,
truth.
please. We're at a party here.
She's just super resistant. You know, I've had this before. I mean, it's normal, really.
Gloria, I'm
Well,
sorry.
we're all here
I'm
for the
sorry,
truth,
it's
aren't
just a
we?
nightmare.
Oh, yeah, but you know that there's more than one truth, right? Just like there's more than one reality, because we create our own realities. You do understand that, right?
The truth's the truth.
The truth is, look, Maya, I just think you should go. I just think you should go. This is not working. This is just really, really bad. I just don't want to hear all this stuff. You know, like
Well, you are super negative.
I can't take.
Now, please, everybody.
You can't even see her for what she is, can you?
We just don't agree. We just do not agree. You think she's one thing, I think she's something else. And I might
think she's
disagree
the
with
greatest
everyone.
woman that you've
I might
ever
disagree
met.
with everyone. But everyone might be wrong. I mean, Galileo said that the bloody, you know,
Yes, but
sun
you're not
went round.
fucking Galileo, are you, Dad?
Well, so what? Sun goes round the earth.
She's empty and pathetic and sad, and you can't see it.
Why don't you fucking wait and see what happens? No, I don't even know what to say or where this anger is really coming from. Where is this anger coming from? Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry at me? What's at the core of it? Fear?
I'm not scared. I'm just looking out for my dad. I care, and I came all the way here for you.
Well, I know that, Mike, but this is now just a nightmare, isn't it? This isn't going anywhere because you're shut off. You're going down a tunnel. All you're doing is creating unhappiness. What's the point?
You know what, fine. Enjoy your party.
Où est votre fille maintenant?
Where is your daughter now?
I don't know.
Voyons, les gens abîment la campagne depuis des années, à la recherche des manuscrits, des bacs d'or, des conneries de Dieu sait quoi.
People have been coming here a long time in search of things.
Il y a une passion pour cet endroit. Mais quand cette passion devient fanatique, comme il me semble souvent le cas, ça, je trouve troublant.
There is a fascination for this place, but when this fascination becomes fanatic, as it often seems to, I find this troubling. He said, he said he finds this troubling.
Au cours de ces 2 années, on a noté 45 rapports d'intrusion identiques à la vôtre.
There have been 45 incidents similar over the last 2 years.
That's impossible.
Elle dit que c'est impossible.
Ben là, on est d'accord. Hein?
He agrees.
Écoutez, écoutez-moi bien. Je vais vous dire comment cela se termine. Vous rentrez votre voiture de location et vous prenez le prochain vol disponible vers Londres, ou n'importe où.
He's saying that you will need to return to England at the next available opportunity.
Sinon, vous ferez face à des poursuites. Vous m'entendez?
Otherwise, there is the likelihood of prosecution.
Ne revenez surtout pas, sans aucune raison.
You cannot return for any purpose.
Réel ou imaginaire.
Any reason at all.
Vous obéiriez tous les deux aux règles. Est-ce clair?
Is that clear?
Okay.
Allez.
Qu'est-ce que c'était que tout ça?
Oh, c'est des gens barges, hein. C'est à qui le tour?
Nobody wants to speak to you anymore because all you do is talk about this stuff. Everyone thinks you've gone crazy. I think that you're just sad or unhappy because life didn't turn out the way you thought it would. And I guess this is your way of coping. But why would you give up your whole family for this? I still love you. I just don't want to lose you.
Book of the Cathars. Should we go and find it? Come on.
The Saviour. He is saying that he is free from the bonds of space and time. He's released from earthly desires, that he is at one with all that is, like the seasons, like time itself. He exists in an eternal now, in stillness and in peace.
Well, that copy of the Mary Magdalene Gospel was a 5th century copy that was found in the 19th century, and there are only fragments of it. But whoever translated it, I don't think really understood what was going on. So they just sort of say the Spirit says. Well, what Spirit said? Well, what's actually happening is Mary Magdalene is hearing Christ from the spiritual realm. This is what the resurrection really was. And she's relaying those words to the disciples, who are actually, you can even see in the Gospel, are kind of sceptical of Mary's talent, because I mean she would have been able to see even things today, because in her dimension all time is happening at a single point, even though it doesn't appear like that to us. From the point of view of the psychic, when I was speaking to her, she was seeing me as a series of incarnations, and she was picking out whichever one she thought would be the most useful and interesting for me. So I believe she picked out the Cathar one because it looks very dramatic on film. She may have even given me the Cathar one for Liam's film and for this documentary. The Cathars believed you didn't need a church. They would pray in the mountains and the forests. They believed in female psychic ability, that women could teach the gospel, and believed that Mary Magdalene had fled to the south of France after Christ's death and had lived there over many lives. One of those lives being Esclamond de Foix, who lived in Foix Castle in the 12th century. Her name means light of the world, and she made predictions that all the Cathars knew, that they would one day return. In fact, I believe she predicted 2021. This is where the burning of the Cathars actually took place. The night before the burning, 4 young Cathars lowered themselves over the cliff edge and escaped with an original copy of the Mary Magdalene Gospel, whilst the remaining 200, led by their spiritual master Bertrand Marty, the king of the Cathars, or King Cathar as the troubadours used to say, were burned alive here at the bottom of the hill. In the 13th century, hundreds of thousands of Cathars were murdered for their beliefs. They didn't believe in an eye for an eye, revenge. They believed in non-judgmental love, and that we exist in the light and the dark, spirit and incarnation. In ancient alchemy, this is represented by the square and the circle, inside and outside the circle of time, body and spirit, Vitruvian man. Now then, the inner and outer circles of Stonehenge show these exact same proportions. They square the circle. So the crop circles, many of which appear near Stonehenge and many of which share the squared circle proportions, may be trying to lead us to a very advanced understanding of our true multidimensional nature. I mean, look at this, how 2 dimensions can seem to be 3, and then with the squared circle 4 dimensions, the dimension of time. This crop circle appeared in 2021, and I reckon is saying that it is time for humanity to break the bonds of ignorance and enter the temple of wisdom. All religions talk of God being male, but I'm not so sure about that. I believe Mother Earth is conscious, and that the great psychics from Isis to Mary Magdalene and the wife of the Prophet Muhammad, Khadija bint Khuwailid, were all able to channel Earth Mother consciousness, a love supreme. Lava is her blood circulating around her body, and like us she has energy points, ley lines, and the ancient stone circles mark those places, the most powerful being Stonehenge, where many ley lines meet. So for me, Stonehenge is an Earth Mother temple, trying by its position and its proportions to lead us to a very advanced understanding of our true multidimensional nature. Interestingly, the latest in quantum physics is showing the same thing, that time may be just a dimension, that there may be multiple realities all happening at once.
Seek, and you shall find, for the truth is within you.
The Earth and the Sun are in perfect male-female balance. The male Sun gives the Earth light and warmth, and she gives him the Garden of Eden, Christ the Son, all consciousness. The Quran refers to Christ as a great prophet, so the teachings of Christ and Mary Magdalene are very important to Muslims too. Let's not forget Muhammad received his revelations on the top of an extinct volcano, a point of huge Earth Mother power. And leading us into the Temple of Wisdom is former Pakistani supermodel and Sufi scholar Atiya Khan, who is leading a caliphate of light out of Pakistan based on very advanced Sufi teachings that were actually very similar to the Cathars. And here's Atiya in the south of France on our quest for Mary Magdalene truth.
You are not born with sin. You create sin when you act in ways without love and compassion. The Saviour is saying that he is free from the bonds of space and time, is released from earthly desires, that he is at one with all that is, like the seasons, like time itself. He exists in an eternal now, in stillness and in peace.
It did cause a lot of trouble, everything I went through, but the one person that always supported me was my crazy sister, who just used to say, look, Dave's always like this, he's always been a bit of a nutter, just let him get on with it, you know. So it was quite a difficult process, but my sister lives in North Wales, where the Cathar part of Liam's film was filmed. Let's go and meet her. What's your name and where did you come from? Tell us a bit about yourself.
Oh, I've actually got to answer that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, my name's Claire, and I was born in Manchester with my brother Dave and Simon, and my parents bought this house in the 1950s. So we have all known it all our lives, and we spent all our childhood holidays here, and then my kids did, and Dave's kids did, and Simon came, and then finally I've always wanted to live here. It's always been where my heart is, and finally got here to live properly full-time about 8 years ago. The Stone Circle has always been in my life, and I remember being at the Stone Circle when my dad used to take us on those really long walks when we were tiny up into the hills to the Stone Circle. So I've known what it feels like all my life. Liam came to visit with his girlfriend, and I said, fancy a walk? As you do. And I took them up there, and I did the meditation walk, and we arrived at the Stone Circle. But he'd made that connection, and I knew he'd want to come back. It was wild weather, and people were getting hypothermic and absolutely soaking wet. The quad had rolled over, all kinds of stuff had happened, and he was still pressing on to get to the Stone Circle. After Liam had asked me, I'd done a little bit of reading about the Cathars, and one of the things that I read was that they fasted for 7 days before the funeral pyre, the final day. And I thought, well, I better do that then, you know. So I fasted for 7 days. And it wasn't just like I could hang about, lounging about, sleeping for 7 days. There was a full-on film crew, and me and Bernie were doing all the catering and accommodation, and we were running around like anything. And I still fasted for the 7 days. So by the time it got to the morning of the filming, which is 7:30 on a Monday morning, Liam said to me, "How do you feel?" And I just looked him straight in the eyes and went, "Wild!" You know, I was wild by then. Yeah, she was called Doughty Witch, and she lived in a little cottage along the lane. And, you know, the whole witch thing is horrendous, you know. The witch hunt went on for 300 years, and anybody, especially a woman who was later in life, who lived on their own, was ostracised, except that she had powers. She had healing powers, she knew about nature, she knew which herbs and how to make concoctions, she knew about spirit, she was a midwife. She cared for the sick and dying, and she held the wisdom that had been handed down through generations. But when things went wrong, she also got the blame. What happened was somebody's cattle got poisoned, and they had to blame somebody, so they blamed Doughty. And they took her and put her in a barrel with spikes on up to a high peak above the lake. And they rolled her down in the spiked barrel to the lake where she died. And there is a pile of stones there now. And the story goes that you never walk past Doughty's grave without putting a quartz crystal on it. Otherwise you'll be found dead in the lake. And that's the myth and magic and the story of this landscape. I then always call out for, you know, the witches, the midwives, the goddesses, the women, the grandmothers, the mothers, you know, to wake up. Remember that knowledge, remember that wisdom, and to stand strong and to be in your truth, because we need that knowledge now more than any other time. Wake up! There's life, there's energy, there's spirit. We are nature, and yet we always have this feeling of separation. Then when I get to the Stone Circle, I'm in that other energy where there's There's ancient history, ley lines, the earth knows, and that's why the stone circle is there, because it is a place of power. There's a legend that the Holy Grail will be found within the sites of Snowdon, which Bryn Cadavana is. But the essence of it is the connection with the energy of the earth and an understanding of our eternal nature. And it's a place where we can feel that connection.
Your connection to the power of love that created you, it can cause a disturbance in the body. You become deprived of the force that can heal you, become sick. So if you are weak, let goodness enter your heart and gather strength in the presence of nature.